All right, to discuss this further, we're now being joined by Dr. Alan Burstein, Visiting Assistant Professor at Israel Institute, Fellow at the Department of Political Science, University of California, Irvine. Thank you so much for joining us on World DNA, sir.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure to have you, sir. Israel and Hezbollah have exchanged near daily fire since the start of the war in October last year. Do you think the latest rocket attack on the Golan Heights that raises the prospects of an escalation in the region of an all-out war, something that has been feared for a long while now?
Absolutely. There is no doubt that Israel's retaliation is going to be at a level that we have not seen up until now. Israel, as part of this equation between Hezbollah and the IDF, like you said, there's been daily exchange of fire, but they have their sort of like rules of the game. Hezbollah doesn't fire too far south in Israel. Israel does not carry out attacks in certain areas in Lebanon. And every now and then there's a bit of a game changer. We saw that also between Iran and Israel back in April. All of a sudden there's another big attack and then the rules change. The question will be what Hezbollah will do after that. Israel's going to retaliate, and there's going to be a big retaliation. It'll be up to Hezbollah. Do they then retaliate further, and that'll be a big escalation? Or does Hezbollah accept, okay, we fired that missile, Israel did that, and we go back to the quote-unquote rules of the game?
Dr. Burstein, this involvement of Turkey, which is being suggested, you know, the statement that we may enter Israel to help Palestinians like we have done in the past in Libya and Nagorno-Karabakh. What are your thoughts on this? What are they even suggesting here?
I have to be honest, I do not take that as a serious threat. Erdogan has, throughout the last year, really changed his tune. Prior to the war, he was working very hard to mend the relationship with Israel. He met with Prime Minister Netanyahu months before the war, and they're working to reestablish the relationship. Then, when the war broke out, he shifted tune. Even the examples that he gives, the involvements in Nagorno-Karabakh and in Libya, Turkey did not invade those countries. Turkey sent a peacekeeping force to one and was invited by the government in the other to help keep the peace. Turkey has a lot of arms deals with Israel. Whenever they're involved militarily somewhere, they buy arms from Israel. That is, I read, a very empty threat. It's a rhetoric threat. It's one that was done within his own party position, a party meeting. I think that he's trying very hard to show that he is on the Palestinian side. I think that he hopes to strengthen his party that way. I think it's been working for him to some extent. Obviously, every sort of that threat has been taken seriously, but I do not see any military intervention from Turkey anywhere in the near future.
Right, so that being said, with the perceived escalations, the latest attack as well, do you think this risks the involvement of other regional proxies, the axis of resistance here? And is Israel equipped to deal with that?
So we are seeing waves of the axis of resistance, as you called it, which is accurate. We see that in waves in the war. At the beginning of the war, between October and February, we really saw Iranian-backed militias throughout Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Yemen, Lebanon get involved attacking American targets. Then there was much more of a lull, and for a couple of months they did not get that involved after U.S. troops had been killed in Tower 22 base in Jordan. Now, all of a sudden, the Houthis managed to detonate a suicide drone in Tel Aviv. Israel attacked Yemen for the first time. We also saw between Israel and Iran in April. So we're seeing another wave of the involvement of the proxies in the region. Obviously, it's what everyone fears. Like I said, though, it really depends on how Hezbollah now reacts. Because right now, no one doubts that Israel's going to have a major reaction. It'll be up to Hezbollah. Do they just take that and absorb that and say that's okay? Somewhat the way Israel and Iran back in April, they attacked them, okay, and they both went back to being okay, so to speak, with each other, with the tensions. Or do they want to escalate? I do not think Hezbollah wants to escalate right now. I think it'll be dangerous for them politically in Lebanon. But it remains to be seen what Israel's retaliation is, and can Hezbollah afford to also not retaliate, so to speak?
Israel-Hezbollah tensions have been mounting since a while. This is again another phase of those mounting tensions. Hezbollah keeps sharing those drone videos captured of, strategic locations within Israel. But of course, as we progress further into it, we'll get to know how far this gets escalated. Thank you so much for joining in. That was Dr. Alan Burstein, Visiting Assistant Professor at Israel Institute, Fellow, Department of Political Science, University of California, Irvine. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure speaking with you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.